everybody, here we are again, and this video today picks up on something I was talking about a few weeks ago. And if you haven't checked out the video called Sticking Logic, I recommend that you do before you go too much further with this one. But just to summarize that video briefly, what I put forward in that content is that every sticking we play, all these sequences of motion, because that's what they are, every one of them is made up of just 12 potential modules, 4 of which are 2 notes and the remaining 8 of which are 3 notes. And you can break any sticking, any kind of rudiment you like down, and they all break down into those simple component parts. I love demystification. I'm not one of those teachers who kind of makes things complicated and not relevant and difficult to process. Let's keep it simple, and once you realize how simple a lot of this stuff really is, you can progress forward much further and faster. So what I'm going to talk about today is 5-note stickings, and don't be thinking that 5-note stickings, oh, if you want to play quintuplets. Well, it is, and I remember when I was a cool young fusion-oriented drummer in my late 20s, which is quite a few years ago now, and we were all obsessing over groups of 5 and groups of 7, mostly because of things we'd heard Vinny do with Zappa, without ever realizing that it wasn't going to get us any further in the kind of mainstream professional freelance drummer kind of world. Not really, putting emphasis on things, however interesting and fun they might be to do, but don't prioritize stuff like that over the things that really matter. Address the issues in your playing that, if resolved, will carry you forward to the next level on the professional ladder. These kind of polyrhythmic things, they come in and out of fashion. They've been around again at least twice. I mean, all the years I was teaching college, the young students would come in and some new hip drummer would be really featuring a lot of this kind of stuff in their work, and the students would be really into it. And sometimes I would have to say to them, come on guys, let's get some groove, let's get some pocket, and we can look at all that other stuff as well. But we've got to have the money makers down cold. So 5-note stickings, however, can be used in all sorts of ways, and in my book, of which there are fewer than 50 copies now remaining, available from here, there are a couple of grids where I take my sticking logic of 2s and 3s and add them up to make 5-note patterns, some of which are duplicates of one another, but if you understand the sticking module system that's fully explained in here, you'll see why that is. So what I do is I go through a load of permutations of 3 plus 2, and then on the following page there's permutations of 2 plus 3. And logically, inevitably, there's going to be quite a bit of duplication when you look at all those possible patterns. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to look at taking a simple 5-note sticking, and I'm going to take the first one on page 23, which is right, left, right, right, left. There's the sticking there on the screen. But what I like to do with these, and this is really good for kind of getting some basic jazz solo or any kind of solo vocabulary together. What I like to do is take the 5-note patterns and play them as 2 swung 8 notes and a triplet. So becomes, and knowing what we know about orchestration, just freely improvise the orchestration around the drums. Just stay on the snare drum until you've got it, once you can feel it comfortably, once it's under your hands nicely, and then move away. Do the kind of things that you're going to want to be doing when you're actually on the bandstand. So let's turn that around now, and instead of 2 swung 8 notes and a triplet, let's put the triplet first and the swung 8 notes afterwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So quite simple stuff, quite simple rhythmic content, but articulating it and orchestrating it as many different ways as you can. And this is one of the things I really like to strive for in my own playing, is just not having one way of getting from A to B, one solution to any kind of musical circumstance that might crop up. Just being able to dip in and call upon countless different permutations of doing this stuff as many different ways as you can. So you can take more complicated rhythmic ideas, and that's where the book goes with this, taking these 5-note patterns and moving them over really interesting different eighth note, triplet, 16th note, dotted note kind of patterns. And it makes your hands move in different ways instead of everything always being like so. And it gets us into that whole new territory of being able to articulate rhythms in as many different ways as we possibly can. And what could be greater for your individuality and finding your voice on the instrument than that? Answers on a postcard, please. Only kidding. See you next time.